So this is always weird for me because when I sit down with one of my friends, it's hard for me to ask the opening question. But I'm trying to create a tradition for the show where I ask the same opening question.
Do it.
And I probably got it from watching the guy from the Inside the Actor Studio, when he does his 8 questions.
Yeah.
I'm a little cheaper than him. I've only got one question. So I will hit you with it. Please tell me what your name is and what you do.
My name is Komal Devjani, and I help brands recover deductions that they get from distributors.
And you do that as part of a platform called?
It's called Revya AI.
This is called Leading the Witness. I'm so glad you have sat down with me because you and I have been on a little journey, the two of us. So we sat down. I think that you were bored. I think I was bored and desperate looking. I may have been holding a sign. At one point I was holding a sign that said, "Will podcast for food." And you were kind enough to sit down and chat with me.
This was at Expo West, by the way,
yeah.
where there's abundance of food.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Like, absolutely right. Well, that should have made it easy.
But it worked. It worked.
Worked.
I was like,
Yeah.
I'm coming right in. Let's go.
You sat down, you took pity on me, and I looked at you and I said, "What is your name and what did you do?" And I honestly didn't know. So then when we started talking about Revya, I'm like, I think I was 5 minutes in before I go, we're talking about an app. We're talking about a platform essentially, right?
This is software.
Yeah. I was like, is this SaaS? What are we doing here? And I'm such a consumer products guy. I'm like, I don't even know how to talk about this. And then the more you and I spoke, the more I was like, this exactly lines up with what we are trying to do as a business. And it's going to sound like the most boomerish shit ever, but Deanie and I were having an all-hands meeting. We have an all-hands meeting every Tuesday. And Deanie goes, I don't think we're doing enough with AI. I don't know what AI is, but we should do more of it. And I've been listening to these podcasts, and they talk about AI. So in a month, we're going to have AI Day, and everyone's going to bring a best practice. And we're going to spend all day talking about these best practices. And I watched most of our staff who are in their 20s and 30s, and he has no idea that they've been using Claude to do their work for 6 months. And they're like, all right, Boomer, let's have AI Day. And then when we sat down and talked about Revya, all I could think about is, oh my God, this is AI Day. Like, this is actually something super interesting. So for the uninitiated, let's have the elevator pitch on Revya.
So for the uninitiated, Revya is a tool that ingests all of your distributor deductions, all of your invoices, and anywhere there is a discrepancy between what you agreed with the distributor versus what's actually presented on your invoice, Revya will identify that, flag that, and I know you said SaaS earlier, but Revya is not just a SaaS tool. It's a managed service layered on top.
To be frank, I don't really know what SaaS means, but I've got some friends in software. So that was me just trying to show you how connected I am.
You're like, I know what this is.
Yeah. That was me just giving you some jargon.
No, but I love it. No, SaaS, I think the days of SaaS-only businesses are, far and few between, especially now that Claude can do a lot of things. But the real value of Revya is that we continue pushing for that deduction dispute to be ironed out and recovered back for the brand until it is actually recovered. So a lot of times distributors will come back and say, no, actually, we do think this is valid. Or they'll say this dispute is denied. And it actually requires a person evaluating all of the documents, looking into what is the supporting documents, what's the deduction that came in, to go and continue pushing and say, no, I think you're wrong and we deserve this money back.
Yeah.
And for a lot of emerging brands, right, this is like almost a unfair advantage where these huge companies have armies of finance professionals going after deductions, going after forecasting, going after reporting. A lot of these emerging brands don't have that same benefit. So Revya gives them that added benefit.
Well, this is where I got to be honest, because I love to tease Danny for being a boomer. He's only like 8 months older than me. So I'm not far behind him in my attitude about things. And when we first talked about it, I definitely saw there was value there because I know as a leader, my finance team is upset about what work has to go into clawing these dollars back from these distributors. And it's not easy. Like I remember in my career hiring, 2 or 3 additional clerks, and you'd make sure they had good eyes. You'd get them the best ruler money could buy, and they'd go through it line by line and try and figure out which deductions we could fight. And it made sense because they were like being paid, $60, $70, $85,000. And if they recovered 200 grand, I was like, amazing. They paid for themselves. Like, let's get 3 more.
Yeah.
Revya kind of turns that on its head.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Revya is only successful. Actually, majority of our revenue comes from recoveries. So we're successful only if we win. And our objective is, our number one metric that we measure our success by is how much can we recover back for the brands.
Yeah. So I've been married a really long time. I've been fortunate. My wife and I started dating in high school. So aside from my relationship with her, I've had my heart broken so many times. I'm such a
Really?
cynic.
Aw,
I'm such
Dino.
a skeptic.
Aw.
Whenever I see one of these ideas, I'm like, I want to fall for Revya, but I'm just going to get hurt again.
Oh,
I know
Dino.
it. So I introduced you to the biggest skeptic on my department. I connected you with the infamous, so famous she's infamous, Maida Go, who was like the most meat and potatoes little Filipino accountant I've ever known.
She's like, show me the money.
She's
Like, I just need to see the money.
She's been with me 16 years. She knows more about my financial situation than my actual wife. And I said, Maida, please vet this. I go, I've been hurt before by the right, little Indian girl that smiles at me. I go, please vet this idea and make sure that I'm not hot. And she gave you a hard time. I was actually surprised. She was like, I can't meet today. I can't meet today. And I'm like, Maida, I really want to know if this works. Like, I think there's something here, but I really want you to vet it. Please make time for Komal. So Maida squeezes you in. And then, I don't know when you guys spoke, but 30 seconds after your meeting was over, she calls me and she goes, oh my God, that thing is so great. I love her. And she was going on. And I'm like, what happened to my little Filipino skeptic? Like, what are we doing here?
And you know what? She was a skeptic. She grilled me in that conversation. She was like, how does this work? What if they come back and say that it's denied? And I was like, don't worry, we got it.
Yeah, I've done this before.
Yeah, I've done this before.
Yes, but that was what amazing was. I don't know. I think she probably met with you for 30 or 45 minutes, and she called me, and then suddenly we're both riding down a rainbow together.
Yeah, she did a full evaluation. She was like, show me the promo calendar again. Show me how the document parses. Show me how you do your validation and matching. And I was like, here's the bill of lading, and here it is, matched against the deduction, and our software is automatically doing all that.
This episode of the Poor Decisions podcast is sponsored by KeHE, where science and nutrition meet great taste. KeHE partners with leading brands to solve real-world challenges, from flavor and functionality to nutrition, cost, and sustainability. Because better food and beverage start with better solutions. Learn more at KeHE.com.
She's so crazy. So I had to spend so much early on. She would tell me that, it took me all night, but I found this $3 discrepancy between this account and this account. And I'm like, Maida, it's not worth all night for $3. Like, let's start focusing on materiality. But that's how specific she is. So when I knew that she was in love with Revya, I'm like, oh my God, Komal captured her heart.
And Maida, I think you're so lucky to have Maida, actually, because the way in which she was evaluating the tool and like with such rigor of the respect for the business that you run, it's remarkable. And the team you've built, Dino, is truly amazing.
Oh, thank you for that. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things that's interesting for us, like, so now that we've started a venture capital shop and now that we're making investments in small brands, I've got a little universe of brands that I want to see make good choices and be good stewards of the investment dollars that we've given them. And I'm excited about introducing you to all of our brands and getting them on the Revya platform. What are things looking like right now? Like, how do people get started with Revya?
So the number one thing is go on Revya.ai, book your consultation. And what that actually gets you is a free look back for a year. And you can see how many dollars you've been walking away from for a year. And majority of that, if you're with UNFI, it's typically recoverable within the year period. And with KeHE, it's 6 months. So a lot of our brands, right?
So they're like, gotcha. It took you 7 months to find it, but we're keeping it.
Exact. No. A lot of our brands, the gift that we give to them for onboarding with Revya is an instant payoff of what they've signed up for. So,
but I thought you meant was it UNFI? You said will only give you 6 months to fight it.
KeHE will give you 6 months.
That's
KeHE will
what
give
I
you
meant.
6 months.
KeHE's like,
yeah,
we
gotcha.
made it past the statute of limitations.
Actually, if you KeHE is really unique. They send these UDR notifications, and if you don't dispute those within 48 hours, I mean, who has the time?
Yeah.
Who has the bandwidth to go and within 2 days write a dispute saying no, this is wrong?
Yeah.
But if you don't dispute that in 48 hours, it's actually just assumed as valid, and it's a deduction they'll take no matter what.
Yeah. Well, before we one of the things I don't like is UNFI and KeHE are easy targets. My friend Sandy Douglas is an amazing leader at UNFI. My friend Deb Conklin, shout out Deb Conklin,
yes,
is an amazing leader at KeHE. Yeah. But they're doing business at scale with a lot of shady brands and fly-by-night stuff, and they're trying to do their best. And the other thing I was really encouraged by is the feedback I received is when you guys are right, they're like, yeah, you're right. Most of the time they come clean, and maybe it takes 3 or 4 bumps, but no one likes to give up money. But my understanding is you guys are really good at convincing them what is the truth, and once the truth is discovered, they're happy to cough up.
Yeah. Definitely. And it's not any shade on UNFI and KeHE. Everyone's running their business just as they're intended to. But there are some things where, maybe manual entry or like manual evaluation of something can lead to errors.
Yeah.
No
It's
matter.
all you conspiracy theorists that think it's a ploy to make more
Yeah,
money at
it's
KeHE,
it's
you're wrong.
not it's not that way. They're not trying to just jip you, but at the same time, where there is an invalid claim, you have the right to get it back.
So I'm excited about this partnership that we formed. I really like to kind of create more value than I capture. And I think turning our brands onto this has been a big leg up for them. I think it's a great addition to AI Day. And what's funny is, like, when I look at what we're doing with AI in our business, it's like Spring Cash and their ability to process fast payments and their willingness to kind of stick their neck out. It's Revya and Revya's ability to help you capture the value that you created and get those dollars back. So there's actually a lot of really amazing AI tools out there beyond me spending 3 hours learning how to create my own Claude agent so I can get my PowerPoints faster. You know what I mean?
Hey, but it is faster, isn't it?
It is faster, but
It's
I'm not a very good prompt engineer yet. I need more prompt engineering.
I got you on that, Dino.
Yeah.
I got you set up on that.
Well, thank you so much for sitting down with me again. It's rare that I get a 2 bites at the apple, that I get to talk to somebody twice. Thank you so much for coming to Beverage Forum. Hopefully you're meeting everybody. If there's anybody that can help you meet or talk to, I'm a huge believer in what you're doing, because Maida told me.
Thank you, Maida.
Whatever we can do to move Revya forward, I think more people should be using it, because there is no need to have your business tied up in this deduction hell. And UNFI is not trying to do it on purpose. I've talked to Sandy. Deb's not trying to do it on purpose. I've talked to Deb. They just need some simple tools to show them what the truth is. And sometimes it'll go your way and sometimes it won't. But I think the great news is Revya can solve that problem of, like, I need an army of clerks with rulers.
Exactly. And Revya actually does have a lot of other features that pay for themselves, essentially, with this deduction.
I almost let
recovery
you out.
tool.
What are the other features? Tell me more.
So some other features include lift assessment. So when you're planning a promotion, understanding whether there's going to be an expected lift. What is going to be the ROI when I plan a promotion?
Category managers any longer? Are you telling me my revenue management team has got something to worry about?
No, nothing like that.
Got it.
Nothing like that. It's
I was hoping it was that.
It's really just taking a lot of the data that brands already have and providing insightful information that they can use to
So
make.
looking backwards to say, all right, base case is this, the lift was that, you really should have spent that money because the lift was so good.
Yeah.
Or, that was an incredible investment. Not only did you get a big lift, you established a new base case afterwards.
Yeah, or if I run this promotion, what's going to be my ROI against it? Or
So
I
scenario
already
manager.
exactly, or I already ran a promotion and I actually don't know how it performed.
Yeah, so post promotion analysis.
Exactly.
Got it.
Exactly. And then finally, to wrap everything up in a pretty little bow, we have revenue forecasting that comes from all the lift analysis of all the promos you've planned for that year.
So you gals are busy. You gals are busy.
We're busy.
I like to do business with busy people. As you've seen, look how busy I am.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sitting down with me, Komal. I really appreciate it. I'm so excited about it. If you've not taken a look at Revya, please go to revya.ai and take a look.
Thank you.
Thank you.